Good morning. Why are we here? Market doesn't move. Fed day. No one cares. 98% chance they're going to do nothing. So why is the market waiting? Well, same story that's been ongoing for a while. Tariffs, China, Putin, Israel now. All right. So in the same place, why should I expect anything is going to happen today of any significance? Well, I don't. I don't. Um, I think it's going to continue to be trading range. I think there's going to be the typical jiggles around Fed day. Uh, the Fed chairman speaks right afterwards, and sometimes the market gets a few jiggles after that. And I suspect, unless he says something so out of the ordinary, the market's going to continue to be in this trading range that it's been in for, you know, usually a long time. But we'll see where it goes. It's got the boundaries in the middle of the boundaries. Earlier in the week, we talked about the high open interest even expiring at the end of this week at 6,000. And my comment was odds are it's not going to get very far. And this is the futures, but the same story. We look at SPX and I said it's probably not going to get very far. And that's been the case. Even yesterday's gap down didn't result in much of anything. So sideways, trading range, weekly chart, still promising to the upside, but unable to get moving. Right? Last week, I think many thought, markets would just take off after this bar, with a closing above those prior 3 weeks and room to go higher. Uh, thought was it continue, but that wasn't the case. It started, and you can see if you look at this on a closing basis, it's just pretty much flatlining. So same story here, and over here, obviously you got our whips up and whips and down. Uh, Unfortunately, it's pretty much the same everywhere. So, which has been making for some boring, especially afternoons. But we shall see. Does it get some kind of movement? Um, Again, things got a little extended, right? 50 MA down here, a little further from where it was here, of course. And things prices are consolidating in an area, right, of resistance there. And we would say it's bullish to neutral until proven otherwise. Right? 20 MA, it's above, prices are above the 200. And maybe, well, I guess if it continues to go sideways, not maybe, it has to. The 50 MA has to come up toward the 200, and maybe we get one of those golden crosses, right? Which will probably be at the top of the move. Remember here, give or take, if you can look at the, I think I have it marked on the S&P. This was the death cross, right? Right at the low. And that doesn't always happen that way, but you know, it's not something to be making any decisions on, that's for sure. So if prices should break out, which I don't suspect is going to happen today, of course, maybe not even this week, this moving average would come up through the 200, and resistance being over here to the left. The prices got up there. I made new all-time highs. That could be a contrarian indication. It's time to sell. Right now, we're in wait mode. Dow, same story, to a different degree, but it's been weaker. It had this consolidation, and it got above it, couldn't keep going. So we're waiting. Russell was getting promising. I guess I suppose it still is from a higher time frame point of view. The move up here hit the 200, which you can see on the daily time frame there, and it backed off. And not a big deal as of yet. However, this green bar, this turn day, did not follow through. Now, sometimes, this kind of pattern, well, if it clears these lows, that would lead us to believe in a move down potentially toward this pivot low area and the 50 MA. Right now, it's just going sideways as well. You can see it's not even, well, on the daily chart, it's not even moving. It's right here, and you see the 65-minute kind of a head and shoulders. By the way, today's MT Live is on head and shoulders bottoms. Um, and yeah, definitely attend. They're always great. Um, Bottoms and tops, head and shoulders, bottoms and tops do not always work out as they would suggest, right? This being a distribution pattern, bottoms being an accumulation pattern. We got lots of examples, so don't miss that. But you can see here, it's not a great one because such an extended move there, but you get a little leniency here in the observation of what we see. It was just giant head, not head and shoulders, but upside shakeout. But the daily chart is still in an uptrend. So with a lower time frame, topping pattern, and of course all turns, either bullish or bearish, begin in lower time frames. But does it get confirmation by breaking down here? And so set an alert here, or even on IWM if you don't have the futures. Set an alert to see if it violates this low. That would suggest lower. I would set an alert, up above here to see if it starts moving up, because when you have a daily chart in an uptrend and a lower time frame with a distribution pattern, a lot of times, and what I'm always going to watch, but a lot of times the lower time frame fails, and then the daily higher time frame continues to move higher. And we'll see how it all unfolds. All right. Bitcoin, down day yesterday. Uncertainty, chopping around. That was a nice day the prior day. Now it's down overall, sideways. There's more sideways. Gold, top of the range, wide range. Kind of a head and shoulders bottom, though. Right? Shoulder, head, right? Double pivot kind of shoulder there. We'll see if it breaks out. Weekly is still in an uptrend. Keep an eye on the dollar, right? Inverse relationship there. The dollar is down a little this morning because I can see these currencies here up a little bit. So not much movement no matter where we look right now. Crude oil had this monster move. It's consolidating the gains, pretty whippy and erratic. We all know what's going on right there in the Middle East. And Iran says they ain't giving up. So now it's that game of chicken, right? Who's going to blink? What's going to happen? Bomb's going to go off. So this is going to become another cluster F, right? Another location of the world. Yeah, it is sad, Robert. It's like, you know what? Grow the F up, will you already? And stop killing each other. All right. Interest rates, not doing anything either. And being Fed day, we got to look at the 13-week. So I don't know that it's meaningful. It's not meaningful. It's not violating any support, but it's interesting that it's lower this morning. No one expects the Fed to do a damn thing. Why is this moving down? Again, it's not significant, but I think maybe it would just be flat from the prior days doing absolutely nothing. So yesterday the retail sales numbers was a little weaker than anticipated, so it's kind of a moving thing as far as everybody wants them to cut more liquidity. Market goes up, but they're looking for confirmation. So they're not to be perceived, right? Like we believe it, that they're not political. Right? They're political for who they like. All right. Internals not helping us at all. Breadth is neutral, wavering back and forth around the zero line. This sentiment gauge is neutral. Right. The other day I mentioned this one just partially punctured up through the upper band. That doesn't really do much for us as far as internals giving us any guidance. It doesn't. Volatility index, that poked up a bit, but just hovering here. So we'll see. And yeah, as far as gaps goes, again, not much to go on here. Uh, Flat. I mean, it was a little lower. This line was from the yesterday. But anyway, you can see where the cursor is, right in the middle of the mess on the 65-minute. Nowhere, the daily. IWM, same story. This is pulled back to the rising 20. I mean, there are buyers here. It's holding it. They just can't make any turn of any magnitude. So everybody's just waiting to see what's going to happen here. The whole world kind of. And got to look at the transports. Middle of the range, small range there. Not too exciting. Uh, so the Dow looks the most vulnerable, right? To see, will it break here? It poked up to a slightly new high. It looked like it was going to make a run, uh, another 1,000 points higher, gap down here, and so far just hovering, waiting also. SPX. So we always look, where's SPY, so we can get some insight as to where SPX will open, give or take, and up a little bit, almost unchanged. There's that death cross that happened down there at the low. And this is relatively far from the 50 and to get up toward the 200 weekly chart, just marking time and resistance. So I've got the midpoint. That's the midpoint here of that wider bar. But any movement down toward the bottom of that bar would be perceived as bearish, at least on a short-term basis. And see where that lines up. The daily chart, which is down there on this congestion area. So we'll see. SPX, there's ranges, again, 6,000 on SPX. A lot of expiring options, puts and calls. There's just triple witching on Friday. We're off tomorrow. And what I had mentioned, based on this information, gave me the impression that expiring this week and going out to the next options expiration, that prices wouldn't get too far from 6,000. And they haven't. Right? Look like up and away, back down again. Now they're kind of flattish right there. And yeah, these are the numbers. So that's a no-brainer. I can double check that, but yeah, it was way down there. So, anything that you can get, I would say below 5,900 is going to be a no-brainer. Of course, I'll just, disclaimer, someone shoots off a giant bomb, it'll hit the fan for sure. It's just that far away seemed unusual. 58. Okay, so it came up 10 strikes, right? So as things jiggle around, this has a tendency to move quite a bit. Um, relatively speaking, 60. So that's not changing. So, unless something happens today, maybe it's the Fed day, but what could send it down there? Raising interest rates? That isn't going to happen. So there's always risk, but perception is there'd be no risk on any strike down here with all of this consolidation and so on. I'm just looking at where the 100 is. Oh, wow, the 100 MA is down here. So the 20 is equal to the 100. So you can see my cursor, it's actually below the 200 is not getting down there. I was looking for any other line of defense between here and here. Thinking maybe the 100 was up in here, but it's not. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, Greg, you forgot the announcement too. But Sam has an announcement for us. Which is congratulations, Florida Panthers, winning the Stanley Cup last night. For Sam, I hope he was at least betting on the right team, even though he was rooting for Edmonton. Our local bar on the beach, Elbow Room, it's already slammed. Because that's where they partied last year when they won. They won 2 years in a row. Got a very boring morning here. Boring while actually. Thomas Bowlingshort. Yeah, Thomas, I also have SPR. I think I like better. You know, the A/B test, this one's tighter. You got a bear 1, 2, 3 after a Climo, breakout failure weekly. So, or thinking alike. You got the 50 there, maybe that's first target. But the weeklies suggest this gap fill. The next area, 35s. So that looks really good. So I got an alarm at 3690. Go through alarms here. Oh, 10. I got to give Alex my Venmo account. Let me set a new alarm. So today's subject on MT Live, Greg already mentioned it. But look at this weekly, inverse head and shoulder. We weren't trading the weekly, but we used the weekly for 2 reasons. Well, any bigger time frame than the one that you're trading. We want to make sure it's in alignment with the bias that we're trading. And then secondly, it gives us, it helps on the target potential. And so, this clearly shows you have a big void. And, we spent a lot of time talking about the significance of this yesterday, which I don't have time to do. SGHC, we've been in trail mode. My low alarm went off. So I said no stop 948 just to book some gains. Estee Lauder. 1, 2, 3. I have an alarm at 75. It'd be a wonderful put spread, but there's no juice. MDB, I've been watching for over a week. My up alarm went off. So today's Wednesday. Over Monday, I like it as a put spread. And, ahead of the Fed, I want to just be more cautious here. But if it closes strong, then a directional watch also. And W alarm, closing breakout. So same, I like this as a put spread. I posted it. And I also like it directional. So Greg, you got to help too on making a decision on directionals into the Fed. We don't have a set rule on that.
Personal
Apple,
choice.
I know that, but in terms of posting ideas in Telegram,
I don't think the Fed today, anyway, there's any risk or advantage. With a 98% chance they're going to do nothing. Who cares?
why not?
Whatever he's going to say the same stuff.
Yeah, it's always the comments. Say that we're watching the data. I personally have a feeling he's going to be more dovish today, which means more accommodative, saying, "Oh yeah, we're getting, more information, and still got to watch tariffs and the war." Right. Whether he says it pictured in black and white or through, implications. That's exactly what I'm saying. So
Right. The risk is, I mean, market's in an uptrend, and what you're saying, of course, is correct. So the risk is being short.
Right. Right. So my concluding comment is, we're giving it an objective discussion, and yeah, the odds favor, go ahead and enter bullish trades.
One would say your risk of making nothing is also maybe high, just based on this conversation. Risk of missing out, make it clear on the upside.
The Apple here, we're already short via long puts and a call spread. And this is the most beautiful short fang pattern. So we're in it. You can add yesterday's low. It's gapping up a little bit, which is perfect. Perfect for an ad. I think that's all my alarms. Look at this curve. I've been watching for a couple months. And I said yesterday, it's not not ready to short. This is a bull rectangle. I wouldn't trade it to the long side on the swing. Just it's up too much. I mean, what's the percent run here from 40 to 170 and change? This circle, which Debbie told us yesterday is one letter different than Oracle. It looks like a new toy. And this one's related to stable coins and so forth. I actually thought I was hoping, because the Senate passed some legislation, I think, last night. Um, and so I was hoping it would give us a big exhaustion gap. Yesterday I looked and the 200 calls were $1. So that's crazy premium. But no pattern yet. Mr. here was shorted a call spread yesterday. And I'm watching this too. I want to get a closing breakdown. I have an alarm at 369. If we get a closing breakdown, we'll put on another one for next week. UNH, look how tight this thing is. Debbie asked me, do you think it's going up or down? I said, well, tell you when I see a something bar, but based on the information I see right now, I think down. So I got up and down alarms. Let me go to earnings here. There's not many of them. Lazy boy. This is Sam's on the board of this. 1-0. Nothing. Penny stock. Wow, that thing. Wow, look at all. Put tape over the price. I don't even care about that. Look at all the people who bought this monster breakout into the close, creating this bar on volume. Every one of them's holding a losing position now. But that's just a garbage stock. 75, that's a very bullish gap, but excessive. I got no interest. GMS 83, man, that thing took off too. That's strange. Usually they gap. This thing looked like it kind of opened flat and just ripped. That's a crazy big move. We'll watch that one on a pullback because, yeah, we'll just watch it. Got no bias now. ACB marijuana. I said this thing must have done a 10-for-1 split because I remember this thing being on his deathbed, and it looks bad again. We're actually short the ETF, Michael Jackson, and looks like that's a little weaker on that news too. ESEA 40. Hey, this could be an exhaustion gap for us, Don. 30-minute low call spread. Euro C's. Let's watch them. This one, well, it's a piece of junk. Look, every time it pops, it gets smacked in the head. So that's kind of a tell of pump and dumping, because pump and dumpers play with these cheap stocks. Just other miscellaneous stuff now, Marvel. Someone on YouTube asked about it yesterday, and I said, yes, maybe 30-minute high, semis were strong. It never took out the 30-minute high and it pulled in, but something's up with it today. Let's watch that on a pullback. Sam gave me Dell. Big, it's just nice consolidation. And now we just need a trigger. Beaky, little 1, 2, 3. Base, sloppy buy setup. It needs more development. But I like the daily weekly has room. But it's just not ready. Alta would be a great put spread. I looked, but nothing. But let's see if it develops for a directional, weekly, monthly, or strong. Wow, look at that double bottom on the monthly. And people ask, do our patterns work on all time frames? You better believe it. Alaska Airlines, Alex mentions, when you have patterns that look ready to go, I love when they have a counter trend, little gap up, because then you're more confident on the trigger. So let me set an alarm. It's up here at 47.11. Let me set an alarm at 46.75 just to get ready. Lower day trade short idea. I would like it. I know it's psychological, but I would like it a whole lot better without that 200 there. Sure, yesterday's low, day trade. These are all from Sam. RPM, yesterday's low, day trade. It's not a good swing because you got support and it's down too much. But day trade. Flowers. This one I like better. This one's better. It has a better void and it's tighter. This one I like, Sam, 46.27. Let's short 5-minute low. Stop Monday's high. Sam, I think Flowers is selling off because they aren't selling as many flowers after Valentine's Day. MDP I have over here, PanW we know about. Let me put flowers here. PanW, did that trigger? That's my alarm went off. No, doesn't look like it did. Let me reset the alarm. JP Morgan alarm, early alarm, but banks has to take out the week's high, but early alarm here. Actually, let's buy the week high, stop 20 under 20 MA. Because remember our discussion about, hey, we'll take bullish trades. We can do it early. Morgan. Hmm, juice spider selling off there. So I immediately look up and the video selling off. Netflix ripped through its 15-minute resistance. Let's do half lot of this. So only a half lot of JP Morgan, and then I said half into the close if it's strong. Just because the market's selling off here. This EA triggered. Greg found that and found this in scanning last night. 51.19. I was going to give it as a put spread also, but no juice. This said G that went against us on the put spread. I'm going to watch this. My strategy is going to be trying to unhedge. So if we get a bullish pattern, then the unhedging would be what? Getting rid of the bearish side. Mr. Low alarm. Yeah, I like this. I like this, doing another call spread, but again, if it's 10 days out, I'm in no rush. Mr. Ulta alarm, nothing to do. BA, SPR, I got an alarm. All right, flowers, 5-minute low is now 46.23. All right, MDB hasn't triggered yet, but if it does, like I said, I like the put spread. I wish I had a bottoming tail for a directional. Because I don't call yesterday's bar potent. Stone, we did a half lot. It's coming in here. Actually, you can do back half on 30-minute high. Let me post that. 3 minute time. Oh, Rice HC came back. Nice. Ah, see, this scared me down here. So I'm gonna move stop. Um, I'm gonna move stop. Yeah, hold on, Delta 20. I gotta adjust this. How about 958 SG? That'll lock in again. Delta's and D-Dog long. D-Dog. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like it. Same sector as our Pan W, I think. Let's buy a half lot right here. Stop. Yesterday's low. I like it. And check put spread too. Yeah, that's a quality breakout with a quality engulfing closing breakout yesterday. Yes. Yeah, Sam gave that to me yesterday. It's 126.85. I'm behind and posting these. Oh, nice. I didn't see it. But yeah, good for you. Nice end of day base. Looks great. Let me check put spread also. I would do 122s for tomorrow and then a little lower for next week. 122 is only 27 cents. Next week, I would do the 120s, 65 by 88. $5 wide is right at 50 cents. Um, it's my only hesitancy is it's 10 days. That's my only hesitancy with Fed war. Only hesitancy with the, 50 cents for 10 days. I'd rather 50 cents for 3 days. You know what I mean? That's so we'll just do the directional and manage it that way. Alex ALK alarm, maybe 30-minute low. Well, I know you're in it. I was talking for right. I remember that one. Oh yeah, JP Morgan, nice move there. Just setting my alarms. I mean, if you were scalping, you could sell it here. That's a nice quick 5 minute bar on that. Oh, so Don, I forgot about this one. ESEA. Look, did exactly what we thought was a possibility. He has no options, so shoot, so forget that. Dell. Oh, shoot, that didn't post. I typed that a minute or two ago. Yeah, no, Dell, I would prefer it to close like this inside bar, and then we do it tomorrow after the Fed. I'll set an alarm at 117 1/4. Let me check puts for Friday. $113. 40 cents, not enough. Correct. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't buy things like that, Hector, for swing that are the bottom of the range, top of the range. But it is a breakout daily, weekly. It's an incredibly bullish 15-minute chart, so I don't mind it as a day trade. It's just not our style to swing. So you could buy 30-minute high, stop days low is fine. Hey, look at our Apple. More relative weakness. Made a new low. So new low alarms. Our puts expire Friday. Let me see where they are. We have the 197.5. $3. Wow, we're because of time decay, we got a small loss on our Apple puts. Shoot. So we're gonna need it to go lower. Dell alarm, CNC. It has those tails down there, but it's a bare rectangle. So I'll put it on the list. It's just not a no-brainer entry to me with that tail there. I personally am not, Robert. I did the call spread. Well, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase. I was over the weekend, I was long puts and call spread. I killed my call spread at a profit, and I killed my long puts on a small loss on this, when we had the bounce in the Qs, which technically made no sense. I get it. So that's an example of my tight management hurt me, but not subscribers. All right, Pan W triggering. Let's buy a half lot over 203. Also, I'm saying the put spread triggered, but I see this pre-market resistance. So just give it another extra little oomph for the directional. Let me check the juice on the put spread I gave. Greg, not as of yesterday. I sent you a screenshot saying it didn't work. And I would have thought he would have emailed us.
I'm asking because I don't see the orangey yellow things waiting to be closed.
Okay, then let me look. Maybe he has an email us. Hold on. Um, it's a buy setup. Yeah. Hey, look at the monthly, Alex. Now the weekly tells me 103. The monthly says 130. Daily says 98. So you know it means it ain't going on a straight line, but they're all in alignment. I like it. Q spiders 100% retracement, huh? Yeah, I like it, Alex. I'm assuming this is palladium, right? Yeah. All right, so Greg, I'm gonna give this to our ETL. I mean, it's already triggered, so I'm just gonna give it right now. I mean, you might get a few penny pullback here, but I don't have time or desire to sit here and babysit it. All right, where's the stuff? How about how about under 93? Palladium, not platinum? No? You said Paul, but I like it. Right, palladium. Oh, are you just correcting my grammar? Or do I get the wrong symbol? Okay. All right, stop under 93. Yeah, I'm going as fast as I can hear you all. I'm behind. Oh, let me buy some stuff and check puts also. The 90s, yeah, they're too spreading. So I'm gonna try to sell a 95s for $1. Try to sell the 96s for $1.70. Correct, Greg.
So those are working?
Yeah, they always have been. It's just ETF.
That's weird.
$90. These are a month out. So $90 puts. Let's see. I'm gonna try 95 cents. All right, I'm going low offer on a bunch of strikes. All right, got a ton of orders out there. So Alex, let me ask you on jewelry, does that also apply to the cubic zirconium? Because that's much more affordable. Dell, Bert, that's fine. Uptrend. Dell, let's buy a half lot of Dell. Not Adele, the singer, Sam, not the singer. Stop. Stop yesterday's low. I'm going to give it a tad bigger stop just because of any kind of whips from the Fed. I don't want it to whip it out. Sam, you know the danger of whipping it out, right? You got to be very careful in doing that. I'm behind Goldman. Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, we did JP Morgan, which is actually acting better today, so I'll just stick with one of them. So it's fine. Let me check. Put spread. Yeah, for Friday. Oh, I think I did already. 1/3. Yeah, I did already. There's no juice. Tesla. Tesla, look at that pattern. That's a bull rectangle. A bull, whatever, bull rectangle, triangle, whatever. Here's your flagpole. Yes, more like a triangle, I guess, but it's both. And NVIDIA recovered off the low with no pattern yet. Uh, Microsoft. See, Greg, I was afraid of selling a call spread on him. I need a potent reversal bar. We've been burned trying to fade strong things. Netflix, if there's any juice, but he actually got smacked down. Oh, BK, I forgot. Um, yeah, I still like JP Morgan better. I'd prefer it to close like this and then do it over the high. But sure, sure. The PNW, we were doing a 195, 190. Five, 190. Yeah, it's filled. So